Perfect. Perfect.
Hello everyone, David here and welcome to BrickVault. If you're a long-time fan of the channel, you probably know that we did almost every Star Wars Republic era Starfighter except one very important one. And if you've been around for some time, you might have even seen some of the comments under every video requesting said Starfighter. I am of course talking about the BTL-B Y-Wing Starfighter, or more commonly called the Republic Y-Wing. It was the backbone of the Republic Navy during the early Clone Wars, almost always accompanied by V-19 Torrent starfighters and Jedi starfighters. The BTL-B Y-Wing was the predecessor of the BTL-A4 Y-Wings that were later used by the rebels in the war against the Empire. The main difference obviously being the outside of the craft, which is much more finished looking compared to the later Y-Wings that were mostly stripped of their armor plating for easy maintenance and repairs, also making the ship much shorter. Additionally, the second gunner position of the Republic Y-Wing was later replaced with an astromech slot. This custom LEGO model is long overdue here at BrickVault, but just looking at it makes the wait definitely worth it in my opinion. The designer Fly in Space is a veteran designer here at BrickVault, having built a ton of awesome creations for the store already, like you see here. And if you're wondering what store I am talking about, that is of course our web store www.brickvault.toys, where we sell the best instructions out there together with parts lists to easily order all pieces you'll need online. Each model is hand tested by us to make sure you get the highest quality step-by-step guide to build your dream creations in real life. Your purchase supports us here at BrickVault as well as the amazing designers from all over the world that we work with, like Fly in Space. And he is indeed an amazing designer, in case you didn't notice already just by looking at this beauty of a model in front of me here. This BTL-B Y-Wing Starfighter consists of just below 3,000 pieces and is a stunning display piece. You can see the dimensions flashing by right now, and here are spaghettis as reference. Fly in Space didn't just design the regular yellow version that you see countless times in the show, but he also built the red version that you saw on Malastare in the Clone Wars series, as well as the one and only Captain Rex's blue version of the Republic Y-Wing that we see in the Bad Batch. But now let's jump right into the details of this custom model. I'm positive that I'm not over-exaggerating when I say that this is probably the closest you can get to actual perfection when it comes to bringing a sci-fi design to life with LEGO bricks. Everywhere you look on the surface, you can find cool and innovative ways to connect certain sections and pieces. The way that the color blocking for the yellow lines is achieved here is very interesting in itself, having you lay pieces on their sides and connecting them in unusual ways. My brother built this model, but I assisted in bringing everything together at the end. And I must say that while you're building all the smaller sub-assemblies, you don't expect that it all comes together so snugly at the end. Each section on their own is kinda unstable, but once you lay the parts down, it's just so satisfyingly tight everything. It's just an awesome building experience from what I built. And some of the sections not being connected is really not an issue at all, since this model is not meant to be turned around fully, and it's not like any of the sections easily fall out while swooshing it. And yes, you heard right, this model, even though it is so big and heavy, is totally swooshable, as you can see by my goofy self demonstrating it here. This brings me directly to the handling section of this video. You saw me handle the model in this video a couple of times already, but if it's not clear yet that it's indeed able to be picked up no problem, here is a little more proof. What you want to do is grab it from behind like this, which is a really good grip and a really good way to hold it, I found. Obviously, like with any LEGO model, there are sections that you don't want to pick it up from, like the engines for example, but that is self-explanatory, or you can grab it with two hands like this for a more confident moving. Either way you prefer works, and it can easily be inserted back onto its black stand, which is also included in the instructions purchase. In case you intend to display it in a larger diorama or just prefer the more natural way of displaying it from a minifigure perspective, have no worries whatsoever, as Fly in Space integrated landing gear as well, which can be folded into the engines and attached underneath the nose. Theoretically you can leave it there and just fold it in as well, but personally I like the cleaner look when it's displayed on its stand, so I take it off on mine. Speaking of the engines, you can see that the designer put these 3x3 transparent red dish pieces here to depict a slight engine glow that the Starfighter would have when all systems are turned on. It's a subtle detail, but I still like it, especially how it's surrounded by all the 1x2 curved slopes. There are so many small details thrown about, breaking up the smooth look of the snot shell, snot meaning stud snot on top, a technique that advanced builders like Fly in Space perfected, which oftentimes leads to people mistaking builds like this for actual props or models instead of Lego. Even the underside is detailed to the last brick, making this a piece that can easily be displayed on a higher shelf and still look good. Of course, there is also room for the crew inside in form of 2 minifigures. The actual pilot has a ton of room and even has a small display console in front of him, although the gunner in the back has to be positioned at a certain angle so the grey top part properly fits over him. The transparent dome piece is not really attached with any studs, but just like loosely sits there, and it, together with some of the pipe detailing on the engines, is probably what needs some tweaking every now and then to have it positioned just right. No big deal, but thought I'd mention that there. Anyways, of course you also have a place for the beloved astromech droid, which is just the head part here. The engines do have a tiny little sag to them, but that should be no surprise since again this model consists of almost 3000 parts and a majority of them are in the engines. I can confirm though that the connection to the main hull is a very sturdy one and you won't have to worry about the engines disconnecting or anything. I think this is a pretty insignificant trade-off for a model that looks so good in all its minifigure scale glory. The model didn't lose any pieces during the transport from my building space to the studio, which speaks for itself. And you can see that fully manned and ready to take on Grievous and the Malevolence, this beauty of a model looks even better when on its display stand and is definitely a must-have for every Republic Navy LEGO collection. And if you wanted to be a part of your collection as well, you can get the instructions and parts list to build this marvel of LEGO engineering yourself by visiting www.brickvault.toys or click the link in the description box below. We are happy to assist if you are new to this lovely niche of the LEGO community, or if you just need a little help with ordering the pieces. If you stuck around in the video until now, I just want to say thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and click the bell icon to not miss any future uploads, as ton of new models and content is coming. Make sure to give Fly in Space a follow on Instagram and let us know in the comments which models you would like to see us make. I will be in the comments looking at every single suggestion you guys make, so yeah, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.